בליבנו רק שיר אחד קיים, לך ירושלים בין ירדן וים, לך ירושלים בין חומות העיר, לך ירושלים אור חדש יאיר. בליבנו רק שיר אחד קיים, לך ירושלים בין ירדן וים, לך ירושלים נוף קדומים והוד, לך ירושלים לך כרזים וסוד. בליבנו רק שיר אחד קיים, לך ירושלים בין ירדן וים, לך ירושלים שיר נשא תמיד, לך ירושלים עיר מגדל דוד. בליבנו רק שיר אחד קיים, לך ירושלים בין ירדן וים. בליבנו רק שיר אחד קיים, לך ירושלים בין ירדן וים, בין ירדן וים, בין ירדן וים.
Thank you, Gordon. Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Good Shabbos to all of you. I see a lot of friendly but unfamiliar faces, and I'm guessing those of you who are not members of the congregation are here for the naming of Eva Kraus. Is that right? So welcome to all of you. We are celebrating Shabbat. We are celebrating Eva's naming, and we're also celebrating the birthday of Israel, along with many other congregations in North America and around the world. I'll be talking about Israel a little bit later, which is celebrated earlier this week. Its 78th anniversary, 78th birthday. It's on the mind of a lot of us right now. But I want to ask Jake and Adrian to raise your hands. They are, along with Timothy's already done it. I didn't even ask yet. And Eva, can you raise your hand? I don't think so. They are among our newest members here at Congregation Beth Shalom. And I'm sorry? Oh, Ada, sorry, Ada. And what did I say? Ada, sorry. We're going to call them up in a moment to light our Shabbat candles. But before we do that, I want to do what I've been doing over the last few weeks, which is asking if anyone has any oys or joys that they'd like to share with the congregation. Any kind of simcha, anything momentous that has happened in your life or last week or two, or anything that's been a little challenging that you might want to share with the congregation. First, we'll go to Carla.
I bought a house in town. Yeah, so I've been living in the country for 40 years, and I'm getting older. Don't tell. So my daughter bought my home from me, and I bought a little house in town over here on South Seymour.
Mazel tov. Anyone in this room who is a homeowner knows that's an oy and a joy, but hopefully it's mostly a joy.
It's a bit of an oy, but right at this very moment, I am supposed to be on a flight to Israel, and my trip was canceled. My trip was postponed, so I haven't rescheduled it yet, but I'm going to probably start that this week and just plant my flag at a future time.
Thank you. I think I saw a hand over here. Hannah?
I was in Palo Alto last week for my grandfather's 95th birthday.
Okay, fine.
Do you want to add something?
I got Employee of the Year at work.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, Donna. I saw on Facebook you guys were in LA celebrating something.
Celebrating one of my long-term friends' 70th birthday. But on Monday, we are leaving for Europe to celebrate selling our farm, like you, and moving into the town. It took us almost 2 years to sell our farm. So this is the celebration trip. We can't wait. And my 17-month-old granddaughter said, I love you for the first time.
Well, I have an oi and a joy. My teenage granddaughter, who is going to be camp counselor again, has decided to spend the summer with her best friend in my house. So it's an oi and a joy.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, well, I would like to invite the Kraus family up to the bima to light our Shabbat candles. And you can follow the blessing on page 128 page 120 in your prayer books. And then you would just say the blessing. He's just going to say it and then Gordon will sing it. Oh, that's not say it with me, sweetheart. I will do my best. Do we have the words out? Yeah, here you go.
I know. Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you. And we will be calling Ada back up, along with Jake and Adrian and Timothy if he wants to, for the baby naming. We are going to continue on page 142 with the singing of Shalom Alechem.
Shalom Alechem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem L'Shalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruchuni L'Shalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Sechem L'Shalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
The Chatzi Kaddish is on page 144.
Yitkadav Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Hirutei V'yamlik Malchutei B'chayechon Uvyom Echon Uv'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uvizman Kariv Ve'imeru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mavarach La'olam u'olmei almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitala, shemeda kudasha barichu, le'ela mincho bechata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiron bi'alma, ve'imiru. Amen.
I know that some of you here may not be familiar with a Jewish worship service, but we've done some introductory prayers and songs. Now we turn to page 146 for a prayer called the Baruch Hu, and this is where the Friday night Shabbat service sort of officially begins. So if you are able, please rise.
Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Please remain standing as we turn to page 149, and I invite you to join me at the top of the page in English. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivdecha b'veitecha, uv'lektecha v'derech, uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha, u'kshartam la'ot al yadecha, v'hayut ha'totafot bein einecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uv'isharecha, leman tiskaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, V'item kedoshim le'Elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 158. Before we sing Micha Mocha, just a word again for those of you who are visiting or who are not familiar with Jewish worship, Jewish teaching. One of the key myths, one of the key stories, narratives in our tradition is the Exodus story. We celebrate that every Passover. We celebrated it in this room just a few weeks ago. It is our great spiritual story of the journey from slavery in Egypt to freedom and the journey to the Promised Land. And after the Israelites were finally freed from bondage in Egypt, and they crossed the Sea of Reeds and came out the other side and began their 40-year march through the desert toward Israel, toward the Promised Land, Miriam, Moses' sister, and the other Israelite women sang this song that we're about to sing. It's taken directly from the book of Exodus, which is in the Torah scroll right behind me in the Ark, chapter 15. And after Gordon leads us in this, when you go home, maybe over the weekend, I encourage you to read that passage, read that story, because it is so uplifting, it is so joyous, and it is so important to the fabric of Jewish identity, Jewish spirituality, and Jewish community.
I don't think they tuned before they sang it, but here we do. And this melody will be familiar. This is not the melody they sang, but this is a familiar American folk song, really. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar ba'kodesh, Norah tehilot osef eleh, Norah tehilot osef eleh, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam zeli anu v'amru Adonai himlo le'olam va'ed, Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha mocha nedar ba'kodesh, Norah tehilot osef eleh, Norah tehilot osef eleh.
We continue together at the top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, amen. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, Amidenu Shomreinu B'chayim. Ufros Aleinu Shukat Shlomecha. Ufros Aleinu Shukat Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
The next series of prayers is called the Amidah. It's on page 164. Amidah literally means standing. So again, if you're able, please stand.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem, L'Ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Hozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid Atah, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umikayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'Gevurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Meimit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. page 645. Lechi lach to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha. And all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, lechi lach. Lechi lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach.
At this point in our service, we pause to think of those in need of healing on this Shabbat, healing of body, healing of spirit, and healing of heart. And we ask God to bestow the bracha, the blessing of refuah shlema, full and complete healing on the following men and women from our congregation or those known and loved by our community. Ilana Massey, Kevin Brackett, Kirk Whitlatch, Kathy Rotto, Aaron Ledden, Rachel Sadek, Michaela Cohen, Tracy Adams, Kim Stevens, Don Copeland, Nancy Pollock, Pat Shapiro, Denise Robinson, Paula Schwartz-Purville, Marty Spitz, Judy Feiner, Elianza Chavez, Ralph Garber, David Margulies, Sherry Levson, Rudy Zeidler, Tom West, Michelle Haas, Joyce Sheffrin, David Samuelson, Doug Gill, Craig Miller, Len Dannon, Donna Mendelson, Judy Nimo, Paul Bisberg, Stacy Bressler, Harriet Lehman, Jolene Jackson, Irving Sten Jr., Megan McCaskey, Susan Early, and Daniel Goldstein. And if anyone has a name they'd like to add to our healing list, I invite you to share it with us.
And my brother Gary.
The Misha Berach prayer is on page 511.
We're going to be in the center of the page. Mi sheberach avotenu mikor habracha le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos again to those of you in our community, to our newer members, to the Kraus family, and to all those who are with us visiting this evening. The Torah portion for this particular Sabbath, this particular Shabbat, is a double one, Acharei Mot and Kedoshim. And in the second part of Kedoshim, which is in the book of Leviticus, chapters 19 and 20, there's a very famous line in Hebrew, a verse. In Hebrew it goes, Kedoshim tihiyu, ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Very famous, very beautiful, very poetic verse. And lots of commentators over the ages have wondered, what does that mean? And they came up with the idea of imitatio Dei. We become godly if we act like God. We are all images of God. So when we behave in godly ways, we become like God in some way. Now, the rest of the Torah portion has a series of laws, rules, teachings, and moral values that a lot of scholars decided to call the Holiness Code, because it is so deep and so varied. And many of the commentators who've talked about this Torah portion and this Holiness Code look at it as a blueprint. Don't forget, at this point, the Israelites are wandering through the desert. They have 40 years to go before they're going to return to the land of Israel, to the promised land. So they have a long time before that's going to happen. And so a lot of commentators think that this Holiness Code is actually a blueprint for them to build an ideal society once they return to the land of Israel. It is aspirational, and it is very difficult to attain. Some of the elements of this Holiness Code are the 10 Commandments, the commandment to love your neighbor as yourself, and the teaching to welcome the stranger, the refugee among you. Now, all of these are hard. I have a neighbor to the south of us. I have issues with him. I don't know if I love him the same way I love everybody else. 10 Commandments. What about don't covet, don't be jealous? Who doesn't at times get jealous of what someone else makes, or their home, or their family relationships, or what they've achieved in their lives? That's a hard one also. Or welcome the stranger. We're wrestling with that in this country and in Europe and in all over the world. What do we do with strangers, with refugees among us? So these are not easy. These are aspirational. And as I said, a lot of commentators have said they really represent a blueprint of an ideal society that hopefully the Israelites will one day be able to realize. Now, as I said at the start of services, this week, it was actually Tuesday night and Wednesday during the day, marked Yom HaAtzmaut, Israel Independence Day. It has been 78 years since the birth of Israel in 1948. It's a young country, but it's not that young anymore. Now, this is a time to celebrate its milestones and its history, but it's also a time to take stock, which more mature people often do when they celebrate birthdays. Now, before 1948, there were, I don't know what I said that was funny, but I'm someone's laughing about something. Before 1948, there were different expressions of Zionism. Political Zionism is the aspiration for a Jewish state after centuries and centuries and centuries. In 1897, there was a very important event in Basel, Switzerland. Anyone know what that event was? It was the first World Zionist Congress, organized by Theodor Herzl. And when they met in Basel in 1897, there were many different Zionist groups. It wasn't monolithic at all. They came from all over Europe. 3 of the largest of these types of Zionist groups exist to this day in Israel: political Zionism, religious Zionism, and labor Zionism. All of these movements, like the Torah portion we're talking about, are aspirational, but in different ways. Political Zionism was unique in that its goal was to normalize the Jewish people, to give them a state of their own. And many of these political Zionists were so desperate for the Jewish people to have a state of their own so they could live in safety and security after all of the pogroms and the Crusades and the Inquisitions. This was before, many years before the Holocaust. They were even willing to accept Uganda at one point as a home for the Jewish people. It didn't have to necessarily be Israel, the ancestral homeland of the Jewish people. They wanted a state of their own so the Jewish people could be safe and secure, so that they would have their own military. They would be sovereign over their soil and over their political system. And they would be recognized and welcomed as a member of the world community. That's what happened in 1948 when the United Nations recognized them. Now, that's political Zionism. There was also religious Zionism. And the goal of religious Zionism was different. The goal of religious Zionism was to create a Jewish state in the land of Israel. They didn't want Uganda. They didn't want somewhere in the former Soviet Union. They wanted to return to the land of Israel. The goal of so many of our prayers, the objective of so many of our prayers in the Jewish liturgy. As religious Zionists, they wanted the state of Israel to be grounded in Orthodox Judaism. Not Reform, not conservative, not secular humanist, but Orthodox Judaism. And many of their members were or are fully observant Jews. And they thought and think today that the Jewish state should reflect Orthodox Jewish values. Don't have buses or public transportation running on Shabbat. I lived in Jerusalem for 2 years, and when I was there, you couldn't get a bus. Government-funded yeshivas, very controversial in modern-day Israel. Orthodox students who were studying in these yeshivas did not have to serve in the military, like every other Israeli, another very controversial topical issue that modern Israelis are wrestling with. And that's religious Zionism, but there was also labor Zionism. And for labor Zionism, land was what was important, not religion. They didn't have much use for religion. What they advocated was a return to the agricultural roots of the Jewish people, the agricultural roots that we read about in the Torah behind me. This is what led to the birth of the kibbutz movement. Anyone ever volunteer or live on a kibbutz? A few of us. It comes from this labor Zionist expression of Zionism. And the goal was a kind of socialist utopia. It was to be led by Jews, but it was meant for all. Now, today's Israel, I think, is a reflection in many ways of all three of these expressions of Zionism. And they don't all coexist neatly together, as we know. While Israel has achieved great successes in 78 years, successes in agriculture, technology, military, humanities, humanitarian aid, it, like all other normal nation states, is far from being an ideal society, the society that this week's Torah portion tries to talk about. There are conflicts between Jews and Palestinians, we all know that, but there are also conflicts in Israel between the religious and the secular, between the native-born, the tsabarim, and the newer immigrants from Ethiopia, from Russia, and elsewhere. There are lots of conflicts in Israel, just like in this country. And in some ways, in this way, Israel today is closer to the vision of the founder of political Zionism, Theodor Herzl. And for me, this raises an important question. Should Israel be a light unto the nations, a model for all other countries around the world? Or should it just be a country like all others? After all, the goal of Herzl and the political Zionists was not for them to be a light unto the nations, but for them to be a normal country like everybody else. Should that be what we expect from Israel? Or should it be held to a higher standard? A standard where Israeli policies and society are in alignment, in accord with traditional Jewish moral values? Or should it be judged by the same standards as every other flawed and imperfect nation state? Israelis are wrestling with this every day. Jews in the diaspora are wrestling with these questions. And I think, for better or worse, we are going to be wrestling with these questions for years and generations to come. I think they're important. I think they help define Israel's identity, and they help us who are Zionists and who support Israel in the diaspora to better navigate our own relationships with our brothers and sisters in the Holy Land. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. So to shift gears a little bit, I had mentioned at the outset of services that we are not only recognizing and honoring the birth of Israel this week and tonight, we're also honoring and recognizing the birth of, I think, our newest member here at CBS, and that is Ada Kraus. So I would like to invite Jake and Adrian and Timothy and Ada to come up to the bima. Ada has been so well behaved. I haven't heard a peep, but maybe that's because you went to the other room. Maybe a little bit of both. We are so happy to be able to celebrate Ada's birth and naming here at CBS. Timothy, how do you feel about having a new sister? Are you excited? You happy? Are you sleepy? I think he's sleepy. The last time he's what? It's been a big day. The last time I saw Timothy was with his dad. We were planting trees a couple months ago up in St. Helena. But we are so happy that you, Adrian, and Jake, and Timothy and Ada have become a part of our community here at CBS. As I said earlier, you're among our newest members, and we look forward to getting to know you and your children in the weeks and months and years ahead. And I want to offer a few words to mark this very special occasion. You are looking at me like you have no idea who I am, and that's okay. Our God, source of all life, we thank you for the countless blessings you have given us. We thank you especially for the sacred joy and privilege of parenthood, which adds profound meaning and purpose to our existence. Grateful for your gift of new life, Jake and Adrian have come into your sanctuary to thank you and to ask your guidance in the upbringing of their newborn daughter. Grant to these parents wisdom, patience, and devotion that they may raise their daughter to live in accordance with your Torah. In this synagogue and in the presence of this holy congregation, we give to Ada, to this newly born child, the name Shoshana Doron Bat Yaakov. May it become a name honored in the household of Israel. Extend your shelter over her and give to her love, health, and understanding. May she so grow and live as to become a blessing to her parents and family, to the Jewish people, and to all humanity. And let us all say, Amen. And now I asked you a little earlier, and I think, Jake, you're going to do the honors to explain how you chose this particular name for Ada.
Thank you, Rabbi, and thank you all for joining us tonight. Those of you who didn't know we were going to do this, thank you for coming along this journey with us, but it's very nice to be here with everybody. I have a couple notes, not long notes, just wanted to get my facts right. So, sorry, I was planning on having two hands to do this. Thanks, Rabbi. So, Shoshana is for my mother, Susan. And Shoshana, the name, which translates directly to lily or rose in Hebrew. And we thought that was a beautiful name and continuing the tradition. And Doron for my grandmother, Dorian, which is the root of Dorian, which means present or gift, which is very much how we feel about our new addition here. So thank you all very much, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Adrian, do you want to add anything? Or? No, okay. So Ada is a gift, Shoshana Doron. I love that. It's a beautiful name. You look like a Shoshana Doron, right? Don't you? One of the things that we like to do at a baby naming is to echo the Misha Berach prayer we offered earlier for those people in need of healing. Ada does not need healing. Ada just needs a warm welcome to this world. And so this is really a blessing where we ask for Ada to be happy and healthy and joyful and to have a wonderful, wonderful life ahead of her with her brother and with the two of you. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rechev Leah hu yavarech et hayalda haraka hazot v'yizku aviha ve'ima legadla lechancha ulechochma v'hiyu yadeha v'liba le'el emunah v'nomar amen. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless this child with life and health. May she be a joy to her parents. May she live to bring honor to the house of Israel, blessings to all humanity, and glory to the name of God. And let us all say, Amen. And I would like to close. Gordon, could you come out here? With the Shehecheyanu prayer, which I think many of you know. Yeah, you just...
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
Mazel tov.
Siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, Yehelanu, 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 Ulecho Yisrael. Semen tov v'mazel tov v'mazel tov v'semen tov, semen tov v'mazel tov, mazel tov v'semen tov, semen tov v'mazel tov, mazel tov v'semen tov, Yehelanu.
We are going to continue our service on page 586 with the Aleinu. And once again, if you're able, please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורר עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. This is a prayer for Israel. In this sacred moment, give us hope for Israel and her future. Renew our wonder at the miracle of the Jewish state. In the name of the pioneers who made the deserts bloom, give us the tools to cultivate a diversity of Jewish expression in Israel. In the name of our fallen soldiers, give us courage to stand up to the words and ways of the zealots, those in our own midst and those among our neighbors. In the name of Israeli inventors who have amazed the world with their innovations, help us apply the same ingenuity to finding a path to peace. In the name of all these women and men, grant us the strength to conquer doubt and despair in Israel and in all the world, replacing doubt with action, replacing despair with hope, and let us all say, Amen. It is my honor now to invite up board member Mark Charney to share some important announcements with all of us.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. The most recent CBS newsletter with information on all events is available on the CBS website, so check it out. It's all been updated, very nice. There's religious school this Sunday, but not next Sunday, May 10th, Mother's Day. And then the last day will be the following week, Sunday, May 17th. The first Friday Shabbat will take place on Friday, May 1st at 6 p.m., when we'll also celebrate Lag BaOmer and another baby naming, Wendy Cochran's newest grandbaby. Join Rabbi Grand for a healing service on Saturday, May 9th at 10:30 in the morning. CBS will hold its annual meeting on Monday, May 11th at 6 p.m., where we'll discuss and vote on bylaws and the incoming Board of Trustees. We need to have a quorum, so please show up at least for a short time if you can't make it the whole time. There will be a meeting of the Education Committee on Tuesday, May 12th. Youth group will meet on Wednesday, May 13th. Your Right to Resilience, led by Catherine Goldman, will meet on Thursday, May 14th. CBS will have a rabbi in residence at the end of May, May 28th through the 31st. And we will have a fundraiser event, Schmooze and Choose, for the ending the Sabbath on May 30th. See the website for details. Be sure to sign up for the klezmer concert on Monday, May 18th. Reminder, CBS is still participating in vehicle donation program. Please see the flyer in the lobby if you have a vehicle you would like to donate to CBS. Tonight's Oneg is sponsored by the Kraus family in honor of Ada. Mazel tov. We're also asking for anyone to sweeten our future Shabbats, Onegs, with baked goods and other yummies that we can freeze for later use. So just a little plug for that. We'd like to give warm wishes for this week's birthdays and anniversaries. Happy birthday to Katie DePasqua, Roderick Murray, Aviv Abramovich, Jonah Thornton, Nama Abramovich, Audrey Morisky, Guy Sandler, Shah Arem, and no anniversaries. Shabbat Shalom.
As we near the end of our service, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We remember those who have died during the past 12 months. Mark Reisman, Muriel Mickey Koppel, Joel Cohen, Ilana Goldman, Susie Frischman, Judy Lynn, Claude Rua, Alan Jerome Simon, Donna Schechter, Carolyn Goldman, Victor Olcott, Robin Frank, Mark James Milberg, Joan Wilmert, Buddy Melian, Marilyn Sazatska, Joshua Ariel Stolman, Audrey Lieberstein, and Ernie Hine. We also remember and honor the art sites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Norman Charney, Carlene Bergheimer Berman, Betty Eisendrath, Thea Greenhouse, Herman Katz, Gertrude S. Kopp, Rosella Bernstein, Oscar Tannen, Annette Friedman, Morris Feynman, Helen Spitz, and William Schwartz. And if anyone has a name they'd like to add to our list, I invite you to share it with us. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah be'alma divrach chayotei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam ulamei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalel v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran ba'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace grant peace to all those in mourning and comfort to all those who are bereaved. And let us all say amen. Please be seated. Before we turn to our Kiddush and Motzi and then have our wonderful Oneg afterwards, thank you, Adrian and Jake, we're going to close with the singing of Hatikva. It is Israel's national anthem, but in its title, Hatikva, the hope, we see that it is aspirational. We see that it is a dream, and we hope and pray that one day Israel, along with the rest of the world, will realize that vision of this week's Torah portion, you shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Let us all strive for holiness and godliness in our lives. Do we have a page number?
We do, 678.
Please rise.
Kol balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homiha ufate mizrach kadima ayin lesion Sophia Lo avda tikvatenu ha-tikva bat shnot apayim liotam chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion Yerushalayim liotam chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion Yerushalayim.
Adrian, would you and Ada come back up for the Kiddush and Motzi? Jake, you and Timothy could come too if you want. And I'd like to ask everyone else to please join us. Come on up, Timothy. You ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'tei avon.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.